if you constantly like you have to focus all the time, your brain, you will get mental.
Hi,
Hello, good evening.
very good evening. I just
Welcome
want to
back.
thank you so much. Yeah, I just want to ask you that how can I can see both of us in one frame because right now I cannot see. It is
Yeah, I
not
think
working.
yeah, it's not working. I think that is one problem. But if it's about the framing, then you are centered and the lighting is proper. Don't worry. Okay?
Thank you so much. Is it too close to the screen?
No, no, it's not. It's fine.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, how have you been?
I'm good. I'm good. How? What did you do this weekend? Something interesting?
Not interesting. I have been doing work, learning, studying English, and that's
Hmm.
it. Nothing else. Nothing new. Nothing specific.
What about your sessions? Have you been taking sessions?
On Clapingo,
Yeah,
I took a small break.
that's nice. It's nice to take a break because you know that gives you time to kind of look at the bigger picture, right?
Yes,
Because if
absolutely.
you keep doing something constantly over and over again, it's possible to uh, get tunnel vision, and then maybe you don't learn as much.
Yes, you're right.
All right,
Yeah,
so should we start today? Do you have
yeah.
any questions before we start?
No, I don't have. If I will have, I will ask.
Great. So have you gone through the topic?
Yes, I went to the topic, and the topic is challenges.
Challenges, yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting. You want to talk about it or no?
yeah. It's a very interesting topic, I guess.
Okay. You seem a little low energy. Everything okay?
Yeah, everything is fine. I don't know why you. Let me check my volume here. Okay.
No, no. I mean, like your energy is low, not your voice. Sorry, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, I'm so sorry. No, maybe I am not laughing too much. That's why you're telling me because I thought before joining this session that today I'm going to take a challenge that I will not laugh during conversation.
Wait, why? Don't say that. I mean, laughing is good. It keeps the conversation interesting. It shows the other person you're actually interested in the conversation.
No, so
Because if you don't laugh,
yeah, this is something it is naturally come. I mean, when I talk about my laugh or my giggling, so this is kind of challenge. If I have to take this challenge, that you have to control your laugh, so it is a kind of challenge for me.
no problem. I respect that. So I won't crack any jokes today, okay? But then it will be a very boring conversation. I'll let you
I'm fail.
know. Okay, cool. So this is what the topic says. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Challenges make our life more exciting. They give us purpose. What is the most challenging job you can think of? Yes. What is the
Okay,
most challenging job you can think of?
okay. So there are lots of jobs that that are challenging, but in my understanding, uh, working as a soldier, I guess this
Yes.
is the most challenging job.
Hmm.
And apart from that, airline pilot or commercial pilot, I guess this is also a kind of challenging job for me. Yeah. So when
In
I
my
say that,
opinion, not for
yeah,
you. You're not a pirate.
yeah, in my opinion, yeah,
Yes.
in my understanding, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I didn't say in my point of view.
I mean, see, this is an opinion. It's not personal experience. So you can't
No,
say commercial pilot is challenging for me, right?
okay, for me, okay, okay, yeah, yeah, I got you.
Go ahead. What else can you think of?
There are lots of challenging job like being a trainer of paragliding. Okay,
Oh, yes.
and if you are a fisherman, that is
Hmm.
also a challenging job.
True.
And I guess every job has its own challenges, but it depends on the person, I guess. So we can't say like, oh, this is more challenging and this is less challenging.
Yeah, that's true. Because for someone who is naturally very good at making decisions, very good at following orders, they would make really good pilots. But for
Yeah.
someone who is not as disciplined, someone who may panic in an emergency, may not be, they can be pilots, but they have to train a lot harder and kind of prepare themselves for that challenge, right?
But yeah, this is something, it will come later. But first, when a person decides that he or she would be, I mean, he or she want to become a pilot. So you can see the risk of life. I mean, in our society, people generally don't prefer this kind of job. I mean, in terms of having risk of life. Okay, first that
Mm-hmm.
you are in the middle of air, you are riding, I mean, yeah, you are riding a
Flying.
plane. Yeah, you are flying a plane, and you are in the middle of the air. You have the responsibility of all passengers. You can't make any mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Any mistakes or any mistake? Any mistakes?
Both. You can say both.
Both. Okay, so you can't do any mistake. You
Make
have
any
to be,
mistake.
yeah, you can't make any mistake. You can't divert your mind. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
even when you have 2 hour uh, do no, even
Even
you
if
have,
it is only a 2 hour flight.
yeah, 2 hour flights. So you, a pilot can't be sit and doing nothing. Okay, once your mind get diverted, is it right sentence? Okay. So it will be a cause for any disaster or any air
You're
crash.
translating again, aren't you?
It happens with me. I can't do with it. Deal with it.
No, no problem. So
Yeah,
actually, on the contrary, a lot of pilots don't do a lot of things in the cockpit because nowadays technology is so advanced that they're only responsible for takeoff and landing.
I know that auto. What is the
Pilot,
word? Autopilot.
autopilot. Yeah.
Yeah, it is true, but you can't leave the things on. Sorry, you can't leave things only for these kind of technology, because when you have to deal a different kind of situation or any
Mm-hmm.
troubleful situation, so you have to coordinate with your brain as well. And if you don't have that experience of taking off or taking on manually, so you can't handle the situation. So how you can concentrate on on any situation, that is more important for a pilot. And it
Yeah.
is very tough job when you are under any what should I say, any if you are in any troubleful situation.
If you're in an emergency or if you're in a situation, um,
Yeah,
yeah, I think that emergency is the safest word over here.
and the most important thing is that it's easy to do any kind of job which is not bothered with anyone else. Okay, but here you have responsibility of all passengers, their security. So I guess it makes more burden on somebody.
It puts more pressure on them.
Yeah, it puts more pressure on them.
Yes.
So
Um,
that's why that this job is challenging in my opinion.
what? Okay, so let's say you decide to become a pilot today. What is the
Okay.
most difficult thing for you? What will be the most difficult thing for you once you're preparing to be a pilot? Is it the clearing of the exams? Is it the learning the new plane? Or just the pressure of, oh my God, there's 250 people on board this flight. So basically, what they say is they're responsible for souls. They use the term souls. So when they are
So
kind of flying, they kind of announce before they leave, we have 300 and X number, like 100 souls on board. We don't say people, souls.
mhm, mhm.
So which one would be the most difficult for you?
Okay, so uh, for the first, I would like to say that if you really want to become a pilot, your subject should be mathematics, if I'm not wrong.
I think
So
it's science. I think.
no, I guess mathematics particularly. You can't
But
go.
maths? if I'm not wrong, in India at least, maths is like a basic subject. It's there always, right?
Yeah, it's a basic subject, yes, and I was good in my school days. I could say like that. So yeah, that is something. If I'm talking about a written exam, yeah, physics and mathematics. If you are talking like from the beginning step to then next step,
Mm-hmm.
then for me, if I would become a pilot, so the training period would be more important for me. So if I would become an pilot, so I will put more attention to take off and take on procedure and
Landing,
landing. Okay,
takeoff and
landing,
landing. Yeah.
take off and landing. Okay, yeah, and how I can deal with an emergency situation. Yeah, this would be more preferable thing I would like to do during my training, and I would like to manage the plane manually
Hmm.
so that I can handle the worst situation.
You're saying manually while takeoff and landing, or even when you're flying?
Mostly take on and landing, but it would be great if I can handle plane manually during the flight hours. I
Well,
don't know
one of
much about that. That's why I'm telling
yeah,
you.
one of the biggest issues with the aviation industry is that the people who work in our industry don't get a lot of time to rest. Okay,
Yeah,
Sybil, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, it's a controversy because many time when we have disaster related air crash, airplane crash, so most of the time pilot doesn't have good sleep or doesn't have
Has
good,
not had good sleep.
sorry,
The pilot has not had good sleep.
the
Once they
pilot.
investigate, they find out that the pilot had not had any amount of rest, or they were overworked, or they weren't um, completely rested, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, so this is one point, but when it comes about investigation, so many investigate what is the word? Investigators.
Investigators, yeah,
Yeah, investigators think that this is something most important thing, because if your don't take brain doesn't take rest, so it's how can I say, it's quite uh, obvious that a pilot could make mistake during unexpected situation. So
yes.
still there is a controversy I watched on TV, and another thing is that I came to know that nowadays the whole training process focus on automation flight,
Yes,
and even pilots don't have an experience, yeah, don't have experience yeah, experience that how if you will get stuck, if a pilot gets stuck on worst situation or an emergency, so how he can handle the
tackle it.
yeah, plane manually. I recently watched, I mean, I watched yesterday that show, and the plane had crashed earlier, and when investigator did their investigation, so they came to know that both pilots didn't have any experience to how to landing the plane manually because of the training process.
Hmm. So you were saying they tried to save time and they didn't train them well enough, right?
Yes.
Because I think nowadays there are lots of simulation machines. Have you ever seen one of those where they're put in a box and they basically sit in front of a computer with their whole panel, like basically the whole cockpit is made for them.
Yes.
And in that situation, suddenly they'll put up emergency, like a bird
Hmm.
strike or an engine failure or
Yes.
turbulence. In which case they have to take over manually and kind of solve the situation instantly. And the reason I was saying that it would be harmful for you to drive, won't say drive, fly the plane
Fly.
manually all the time, is
Yeah.
because you won't be able to get enough rest between flights. So,
Okay.
it's much better if, you just take off, put the plane on autopilot, and then I wouldn't say rest, like you can't sleep or something, but I'm sure you can just strain your mind a little less. Like, don't overwork yourself. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understood, but in my understanding that even you can't take off your eyes from that function of automation, because
Mhm.
sometimes because of small things, automation also mess up
Yes,
mess up.
obviously.
And if a pilot doesn't pay attention towards it, so it becomes like a disaster. So you can take rest before the flight or after the flight, but you can't take rest during your flight.
During the flight, yes. Like I said, they don't rest, but it's just like if you constantly, like, you have to focus all the time, your brain, you will get mentally tired and physically also tired,
But
right?
this is like I really want to counter on this this thing,
Point.
that yeah, that's this point. I learned that you can't divert your mind. If you watched that episode, that there was some match, football match was going on, and there was a plane, and the both pilot were diverted. I mean, their mind, yeah,
They were
their mind,
distracted.
yeah, they were distracted, and because of that, they didn't pay attention towards the functions of flight or plane,
Hmm.
and it caused crash,
Accident.
accident. Yeah. So you can't divert your mind, even you can't talk like in a lighter way. You should be like a eagle. What should I say? What is the phrase for it? You can't take off your eyes
You can't
from.
take your eyes off the controls or on off the plane basically, because obviously technology also has its drawbacks and its limitations.